Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. Today's video is going to be my spring Project Pan finale and my introduction to my summer Project Pan. So I have all the items here, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and start off by giving you the final update for the spring project. So if you are just now tuning into my Project Pan videos for this year, I have decided to do seasonal projects. So this is the end of the second one because the first one ran from January through March. The second one was from April through June, and now we're getting ready to start the third one, which will run July through September, and then we'll finish up October to December. So I'm gonna go ahead and chat about the items that are still like in my project, the ones that I didn't finish, because one of the items I did finish early on. I have since decluttered that, so I do not have that anymore, but you can check out a previous video for like an update on that if you are super curious. So I have 7 items to talk about in terms of the spring project, and then I'll introduce my new items and talk about some goals. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the one and only empty for this update, and that is the perfume that I was working on. This was the Coach Poppy Eau de Parfum. This was a rollerball perfume, and I did finish it all the way up, so I will go ahead and show you the progress marks, but it is completely finished. So I did use this a total of 16 times in the month of June for a total of 56 times, and I finished this officially on June 27th. So this is the lone empty, although one is very, very close. So I'll talk about that one in a minute. But yes, this one is done. I'm really excited. It's another perfume that I can move on out of my collection. I have a bunch of them that I'm trying to work through. That's why I've put a perfume on every one of these projects. But yes, this one's done. It's on to the next one, which I'll chat about when I introduce the new items, but I'm very glad that this one is finished. I really liked this scent, but I found out that it is discontinued, so you can't get it anymore unless you get it from like overstock.com or something like that. So that's kind of a bummer because this was a really pretty scent, but it didn't last a super long time, so you know, maybe it's not so terrible that I can't actually purchase a full size. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about 2 items that I'm kind of going to do an unofficial project with because I do have a goal to finish them by the end of the year. So the first one is actually a lip balm. It's right here. This is the Bite Agave Lip Butter Balm, and this is the one that's almost done. So I cannot actually twist this up anymore, so you can see it just has the tiniest amount of product left. Here's the progress photo just so you can get an idea, but this does not twist up anymore. So with a couple more uses, this should be all the way finished, and then obviously I will roll it out of my collection. I do enjoy this. It's nothing super special. Bite is no longer even in existence, but I did quite enjoy using this. Didn't mind putting it on most days. For my numbers, I did use this 16 times in June for a total of 40 times overall in the project. And I have used this, it's actually later in July. What is today? Today is the 10th, July 10th. So I would say I've probably used this 5 or 6 times since the end of June as well, but we are very close to being done. So you will see this in an upcoming empties video. And the other item that I have a little bit more to go is my SkinCeuticals Hydrating B5 Mask. So here is what it looked like. I have not put a mark. I don't know if you can tell where it is, but it's like right underneath the last line of print. So this is probably going to take another month, maybe a little bit more. I tend to use this 4 times a month because I use it weekly. So that is how often I used it in June. I used it 4 times. That's a total of 13 times in the project, but I am going to keep working on this because I do want this finished, and I have already used this once in July. So hopefully when I do my next update, I will be able to share with you that this one's finished, but this is kind of going to be an unofficial item that I'm carrying over. I'm not going to continue tracking usage. I just want to get it done because this was very expensive and I want to make sure I'm using all of the product. Next up is an item that didn't really see much difference. So here were the progress pictures for this one. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. I did not have a goal to completely pan this or even like hit pan in this. I just wanted to actually make sure I was using it. So here is what we are looking like at the end of June. Pretty nice dip. I'm not too upset about it. I did use this a total of 6 times in June for a total of 12 times in the project. So obviously we weren't going to see any massive difference, but yes, I do feel like you can tell that it did get a little bit of love, and I'm happy to put this back into my collection and continue to play around with it whenever the urge strikes. I just wanted to make sure I was giving it some dedicated love. Then we have my ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Okay. So here's the progress pictures. And then here is what we are actually looking like. So you can see I have a decent amount of pan in there now, so I'm pretty pleased about that. I did use this a total of 7 times in June for a total of 26 times in the project. This is another one that I'll continue to play around with. I just, again, wanted to make sure I was not forgetting it, giving it some dedicated use, and I definitely feel like I managed to do that. That's a really nice amount of pan. The final 2 items are the lip type products that I was using as cream blushes. So the first one is this Too Faced lipstick in the shade Birthday Suit. I was able to use this a total of 9 times in June. I feel like that number is possibly not quite correct, but we're gonna go with it. 9 times for a total of 25 uses during the project. So here is the progress picture, and then I will go ahead and roll it all the way out. You may see this one again, just because I feel like this gets used pretty quickly, and I'm thinking I might be able to get it done by the end of the year if I just keep poking at it. That might not actually be true, but I feel like I can at least get some decent use out of it and potentially get this done maybe early in 2024. We'll see. But yes, I was happy with the amount of use I was able to get out of this, because this was basically brand new when I started using it back in April. So pretty good usage there. And then the other item that I have is the Milk Lip and Cheek Stick, which looks like this. This one is in the shade Work, W-E-R-K. And I have marked down that I used this one 8 times in the month of June. Again, that might not be correct. I may have forgotten to tally a couple times, because typically I was making sure that I was using this one and the Too Faced one the same amount of time, and I was alternating between them. So I probably like missed a day somewhere, but we'll go with it. And that comes out to a total of 24 uses. So again, you know, the Too Faced one was 25, this one's 24. Maybe that's correct, I don't really know. Now this one I had no intention of getting finished, because there is still a lot of product left. So here's the progress picture, and then here is what it is actually looking like. So still lots of product in there, which is fine. Again, I just wanted to try to give it a little bit of love, a little bit more use than it had been getting, and I do feel like I was able to accomplish that with 24 uses. So that brings my spring project pan to an official close. Again, I have 2 items that I am going to keep working on to try to actually finish up within the next month or so. But now we're gonna go ahead and dive into my new items for my summer project pan. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with a primer. We're just gonna kind of go in order of like how I would apply these on my face. But I have the Rimmel Stay Matte Makeup Primer. It looks like this. I have marked it, so that pink mark is where it was at the beginning of July. I don't really like this. It does not sit well under makeup, in my opinion, especially on my nose. It looks terrible on my nose, and it does not keep me matte. So I've been using this whenever I don't actually wear makeup. So that's where this is gonna get most of its use. I still have most of July, a little bit of August, of course, weekends, things like that. So I feel like I can get an okay amount of use out of this. But yes, I would really like to finish this up because I don't really like it. And just note to self, don't purchase this again. And I don't know, a lot of people really love this, but it just doesn't work for me, y'all. But I do want to get it done. You know, I spent money on it, so I feel like I should be able to get this done in 3 months, but we will obviously see how it goes. But yes, my goal for this one is going to be to use it completely up. The next item that I have is actually one that was around for a really long time in last year's project pan, and that is the Becca Under Eye, what is this actually called? The Under Eye Brightening Corrector by Becca. So it looks like this. I actually hit pan on this last year and managed to clear out like a little bit of the side. So I do not have a goal to actually finish this. I just, again, want to give it some use, maybe clear out a little bit more, expand the pan. So if you can see, it kind of comes up on the side right there. There is a little bit of empty space, but I would really like to clear out like that whole side. I feel like that would be completely doable. So yes, my goal is not to complete it or finish it, just to clear that out, expand the pan a little bit, and get some use out of it because it's been hanging around for a bit. I've had this for a while, so want to make sure I'm actually using it. I do really like this, but only when I only use this. If I try to put concealer over this, I think it looks terrible, but it looks pretty good on its own for like the lighter, no makeup type days. So that's when this will get most of its use. But again, the goal is just to expand the pan, give it a little bit more love. Then I have two blushes because I always do like two blushes in these projects, but the blush that I'm going to start with is actually from my Benefit Blush Bar palette, and it is the shade Gold Rush. So here's what it looks like on the front. I have actually panned Dandelion. I did that last year. Gold Rush is this one right here. So you can see it does have some pan. You can see like the bumps and everything. So I feel like I should be able to completely finish that up in 3 months if I give it some dedicated use. Might take a little bit longer, but yes, I definitely feel like that is doable, but my goal will be to finish this. If I don't manage it in the 3 months, I'm going to continue working on this because I do want this done by the end of the year. And you will probably see this shade right here, which is Rockateur, in the winter or in the fall project pan rather, because again, trying to finish this. I don't like this shade. This is California. I do not like it. And the Hoola bronzer is not a good shade for me. So those two I'm not going to even really attempt to use, but these two I really like and I want to go ahead and finish up. So we're gonna put Gold Rush in this quarter's project and see what I can do with it. So yes, would like to finish this up. That is the goal. And because I always put two cheek products in, I am also putting my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Puff back into this project. This is another one that I had in my project last year. This is almost finished. So if you can see, that blue mark is where I had stopped using it in the previous project. So I've got just the bottom here left, and I would really like to get this used up. I feel like, again, I should be able to get it used up in the next 3 months. So we're gonna do our darndest that I can move this one out of my collection just because I've had it for a really long time. And as I said, it was in a project previously, so it's time to go ahead and actually finish it up. I actually feel like I'm probably down maybe to like the writing right here. But obviously it's difficult to tell. This is pretty opaque packaging. I can't like shine a light through it and see, but yes, definitely would like to get this done. So that is the goal for this one. Then I have another lip balm, and it is another one from Bite Beauty. So this is the Overnight like lip mask. It is the intensive lip mask, the Agave Intensive lip mask. So this was like the balm, like the everyday balm. This is the one that's meant for like overnight, and that's how I've been using it, as like a nighttime lip treatment. So I did mark it so that purple line is where this was at the beginning of June. I have already used this a handful of times since we are later into the month, but this is another one that I would really like to finish all the way up because I have had it for a while. I don't love this. I really don't love this. It's fine. I don't feel like it's as hydrating as other lip products that I've used overnight. So yeah, just want to get this done. The goal will be to finish it completely up or get it as close as possible so that I can finish it up by the end of the year. But that is the next item. Staying with lip products, in this one, we'll see how this one goes, because if you've been watching my project pans, you know I don't do a great job with lip products, which is why I turn so many of them into cheek products. But I do have this little mini of the Fenty Gloss Bomb. This is in the shade Fenty Glow 01, and I have marked this. It's gonna be hard to see because I use that pink color. There you go. So this does have a little bit used already. I would like to finish this up in 3 months. I do think that this is really easy to apply. I've been using it regularly. I like how it looks. It's just very easy, very simple color. It's not messy, it's not sticky. So I do really like this, but again, I want to go ahead and make sure I'm using products like this up in a more timely fashion rather than letting them hang around for years and years. And because I do actually like this one, I'm hoping that that will encourage me to use it more regularly. But yes, the goal will be to have this finished. We'll see. When I do the next update, hopefully, you know, the line will move because I'm really bad about lip products, but I would really like to get this one used up. This kind of got lost in my drawer. I kind of forgot I had this, which is why I went ahead and pulled it out for this quarter's project, and hopefully I will love it and use it every day. We'll see. All right, I have 2 more products. So the next product is a shade in my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is a palette that I am looking to declutter, but there is one shade in particular that I really, really like in here, and it is this shade right here. This is Marzipan. It is just a very simple kind of champagne-y shade. For lack of a better word, if you can see right there. I really like the shimmer. I put this over top of a lot of different eyeshadows. I've used that shade exclusively. Like if you look at this palette, that is like the only one that has actual pan. This one's got a pretty nice dip. This one up here is okay, but I have had this palette forever. This is one of my oldest palettes, and Marzipan is like the one shade that I would just really like to use all the way up. I feel like it will be a very good topper for my Pan That palette, for lack of a better word, which is the Urban Decay Naked 3, because this will fit in really, really nicely with the tones. So I just feel like this can get some really nice use. My goal is to finish it because once I do, I'm decluttering this. I have had this for years. It does still smell like chocolate though. Like it still has its scent. So go figure, whatever they're putting in there to keep the scent definitely works. But I have had this forever. I would say I've probably had this since 2016, maybe even earlier. So it's time for it to go, but I do want to use up Marzipan because that is my favorite shade from this palette. It's a very simple shade. But that's kind of how I roll. So my thought is that I can use that to top off all kinds of looks, give it lots of love. So the goal will be to finish the shade completely up. And the last item that I have is another perfume because as I mentioned, I'm putting one perfume in each of these projects. This one is the Taka perfume in the scent Florence. It is definitely floral, very floral. This would actually be like a springtime shade, but we're using it in the summer because why not? I did go ahead and mark it. I have used it a few times since I marked it. So you can see it's already below that purple line, but the goal is to finish this up in 3 months. Should totally be doable. I had a previous Taka perfume that was in the same size in my the first project pan I did, I think my winter one, I can't quite remember, I think it was the winter one, and used it up before the 3 months was up. So definitely thinking this will not be a problem. This is a spray perfume, not a roller ball. So yeah, I like it. It smells nice. I don't mind wearing it, and hopefully it will be done in 3 months. So there you have it. Those are the new items in my project pan for my summer project. And I'm looking forward to using all of them, giving them some love, hopefully finishing some things off. So stay tuned for my monthly updates so you can see my progress, and hopefully it will be good news. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.